I recently stopped meditating. I'm someone who meditated pretty much every day for 5 years, and I recently stopped. And in this video, I wanna take some time to explain why that is. But first, let me give you a little bit of a background story. Many years ago, around 10 years ago actually, I had a breakdown. I was depressed and I had a breakdown in front of an ex of mine, and I started to want to implement some changes in my life. You know, I was having a lot of suicidal thinking. I felt like I was definitely in a really bad place mentally. I wanted to see if there was a way that I could enhance or create a more loving, more fun, a less miserable experience of life, a happier experience of life. I made a lot of changes to my life. You know, I started to clean up my diet. I stopped eating so much fast food and drinking fizzy drinks. I started exercising a lot more regularly. I started to read a lot more books. I started to listen to inspirational podcasts. And one of the things that I really took on board was meditating. I felt like there was a lot going on in my head, and I wanted to kind of find some space, you know, like just quiet in my head. I think I started meditating in like 2015, I think it was. One of the things is, like, I'd never meditated before. I didn't know what to think about it. I didn't know what to do or anything like that. And I just heard it was good for you, and I never really understood why. I downloaded the Headspace app, which is a great app for anyone who wants to get into meditation. This isn't an ad, this is just generally what I used. It was really helpful because it was a real introduction to what meditation was, and I started to just, you know, listen to it every day, do my meditation. At first I was doing like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes I'd do like 20 minutes. And I really enjoyed the practice of it. I really enjoyed the practice of meditation and just sitting down and having that quiet space. And it was something that more often than not, I did in the morning every day, just before I was, you know, leaving to go to work when I used to work in an office. And it really helped me at the time. It really introduced me to the idea of, like, there's so many thoughts going on. Like, I don't know, you know, if you're watching this or listening to this and you've meditated, you'll know what I mean, right? You sit down, you know, you close your eyes, you connect to your breath, and you start observing your thinking. And there's like, there's like thoughts of everything. It's like, you know, what you had for dinner last Tuesday. It's like, oh, what's the next Marvel film to be in the cinema? To, oh, I can't believe that thing happened to me when I was a kid. To like, oh my God, what's on my to-do list today? To like, oh, did I shut the dishwasher door after I emptied it? And just like a bunch of random stuff, like, it's just flying through your mind. And meditation really introduced me to the idea of, we don't really control our thinking. We don't really control the thoughts that happen in our head. Like, our brain just thinks them, right? Our brains are thinking machines. It's just constantly churning out new thoughts. And meditation was something that really introduced me to that. And I started to see, like, the wild west of, like, what's going on in my head, you know, every day. If, you know, sitting down for 10 minutes and just observing some of the thoughts and some of the trails that you end up going on, you know, whilst you're sat there in meditation, it was wild. And it really made me see, like, okay, so this is what's constantly going on, right? It's just whether I'm listening or choosing to listen or not. One of the things that it really helped me to see was, like, I am not my thinking. I am the observer. I am the listener of my thoughts. I'm not the thinking itself. And this was great. This helped me with a lot. This helped me understand a lot about myself. It helped me to really become more grounded. It helped me to really get into more of a groove, you know, for want of a better word, in my life, within myself, because it's really an internal experience, right? And that internal experience that we have is created through the thinking that we're having in any moment. So meditation was a great way for me to introduce myself to this, and I actually got really into it. Like, the Headspace app is amazing because it gives you like a run streak. So when you have 2 days, it will say run streak 2 days, and then it'll be like 5 days, 10 days. And I was always aiming to get to 100. And I managed to get to like 100 days in a row, like, a couple times. Actually, one time I nearly got to 200, but that's a story for another day. And it has been one of the most helpful practices I've ever done in my life. And the reason I want to give you this context is because it's going to help you understand, like, how important it was to me. Meditation was one of the most important practices in my life, and to this day it probably still has been to some degree, right? I've just decided that I don't need to meditate so much anymore. And the reason for this is because two things. One thing, I remember one time someone said to me, meditation isn't a practice that you get from. It's a practice that you give to. Really seeing this, I didn't really get it at first. I kind of got it and I kind of didn't get it. It's not like, you know, you sit and if you sit there and meditate for 10 minutes, you're instantly going to feel better. And I understood that. It's not, you don't get anything from it in that way. But if you give your attention, you give your presence, you give your energy to it, then you will receive something. You'll receive the space. You'll receive the learnings. You'll receive, you know, like I did, the understanding of being the observer of my thinking. This was one thing that always stuck with me. And then the other thing that I started to become quite aware of more recently is that the practice of meditation and the state of meditation are two different things, two entirely different things. The practice of meditation is to sit down, to, you know, cross your legs, you know, sit on your yoga mat or lie on the floor, whatever you do, close your eyes, you know, do your body scan, you know, relax your body, get into your breathing, get into your body, and then start to observe your thinking, right? That's the practice of meditation. Now, the state of meditation is something entirely different. The state of meditation is what you access through the practice of meditation. So what I started to realize was, well, if I'm accessing this state through the practice of meditation, surely I can access it at any point, right? Because all you're accessing when you meditate is the innate stillness, the innate clarity that exists within us, right? It exists in every moment. There's space within us that just exists. And meditation is us kind of dropping into that space, dropping into that stillness, the practice of it anyway, to experience it. But it's always there. Like, it hasn't gone anywhere. It doesn't come and go. It's always present. It's just how aware are we of it? And what I started to notice was that, well, I can probably access the state of meditation a lot more than I realized. I don't need to, you know, practice meditation in order to access it. And if we really just, like, for a moment, just slow down, right? Just notice, like, the space between your breaths, the space between every word that I'm saying, the space between the letters of every word that I'm saying, the space between each thought, the space between each word of your thinking. Like, this space is always there. You know, it's a state that it's just kind of ever present. You know, it doesn't really go anywhere. So what I've started to notice is that this state of meditation is accessible to us at any given point. We can find ourselves in a state of meditation whilst doing anything. We don't need to be doing meditation to access it. You can be in a state of meditation while you're driving. You can be in a state of meditation while you're talking to a friend. You can be in a state of meditation while, you know, you're reading. You can be in a state of meditation when you're listening to music. You can be in a state of meditation when you're washing your dishes, when you're, you know, watering your plants. The list is endless. When you're doing your work, the list is completely endless. And what I've noticed is that state of meditation is extremely accessible to us. Extremely accessible to us if we're aware of it. Being aware of the state. And this is why I say practicing meditation every day has been one of the most profound things that I did in my life, because it allowed me to become aware of the state of meditation. And this state can be accessible at any time. And now what I find is I go through my day and I drop in and out of the state of meditation. I can be in a state of meditation when I'm in the gym. I'm in somewhere, I'm in a state of meditation right now, recording this. You know, in other ways, I'm in a state of meditation when I'm having a conversation with some of my coaching clients. In other ways, I'm in a state of meditation when I'm, you know, chilling with my girlfriend, or when I take the dog out for a walk. You know, it's something that's always accessible to us, because it's not relying on any one thing that we do to experience it. It's there for us to experience in any moment. It's an inbuilt system. It's an inbuilt experience. It's internal. It's not based on doing something external or doing something in particular. It can be accessed in any moment. And when we wake up to that, in my experience anyway, life has become so much more clear, so much more abundant, so much more, colorful. There's so much more to appreciate. Like I was walking home from the gym today, well, pretty much every day when I walk home from the gym. And to be fair, most of the time I'll be listening to something in my headphones, but today I took them off my head and put them around my neck. And I was just listening to like the birds, and there's like ducks swimming in the water along the canal, and it was just a beautiful setting. And I was kind of in that state of meditation while I was walking home. There was just like an extreme gratitude for everything around me. And this is why it's a really exciting thing to become aware of, because it can be accessed anywhere. Even in moments of stress, anxiety, worry, fear, we can access that state of meditation. It's almost like a base level for us. It's a base level experience of life. And it's a beautiful thing, because it really, it's the anchor to the present moment, for want of a better word. And in that present moment, in that, state of meditation, is complete peace of mind. It's complete freedom of your mind. It's complete clarity. There's a pureness to it. And when we're experiencing that pureness in more, different, periods of time throughout the day or the week or the month or whatever, the quality of our life goes up, because our level of consciousness is rising up with every time that we access that state, that every time we access that peace of mind. When we have peace of mind, our consciousness is so high. Our level of consciousness is so high. When we're getting caught up in that crazy, wild west of the mind, our state of consciousness is really low, because we're not aware of that inbuilt state that we have. And this is a reason why, for me, like, I'll still meditate every now and then. It's not like a daily practice that I feel like I have to do. There'll be moments where I'm just like, actually, do you know what? I'm just going to sit in this stillness and just rest in this stillness. And I'll do like a short meditation. I remember a couple of years ago, when I was traveling in South America, I was just in this really beautiful setting. There was like some rocks and a river, and it was like in the middle of a forest. And it was just a beautiful setting. And I just sat down, and I just felt like this want to meditate in that space and just appreciate that stillness. And recently I had a little, like, it was like a little 5-minute meditation a few days ago. I was at home, and it was just like a quiet day, and there was just like, I just had this overwhelming feeling of like, I just want to sit in this stillness for a little bit and just appreciate it. And I dropped into like a little meditation practice. And it's a great thing to do, but for me, it's not something that I have to do every day. The having to need to do it every day is believing that the practice of meditation is giving us something that we don't already have. This is what I experienced. I started to believe it was giving me something that I didn't already have. When I started to wake up to the idea that the state of meditation is always accessible, I started to see, well, maybe this means that I don't need to practice it as much as I think, because it's always available to me. I already have the feeling that I'm looking for already exists inside of me. So I'd love to know what you're making out of this video. I'd love to know, your experience of meditation. You can hit me up on Instagram at @IamAlexManzi. Let me know what you're getting from this. And if you like this video, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe, because there's plenty more coming your way.